Hey there, it's your Bill Estate Agent, and I am continuing my Shop Local series today with a restaurateur here in Roswell. And if you're a foodie at all, you're going to know this guy. It's Ryan Pernice with Table & Main, Asteria Matone, and Casa Robles. So, Ryan, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show and taking a little time with us today. Okay, so I start every show with a real estate question, so I'm going to ask you this. What was the most important feature you looked for in your current home when you were buying it?
I'd say proximity to my restaurants in downtown Roswell.
Okay.
So right now I can walk right up there. It's an easy 6-7 minute walk.
Yeah.
As a restaurateur, you're always shuffling things back and forth in the trunk of my car, and
Sure.
makes it easy being right where I am.
Yeah, so walkability is huge, and of course that's why a ton of people love Roswell, and in addition to all the restaurants and everything. So, so you've made such an impact on historic Roswell with
thank you.
with your restaurants, and I just tell us your story. How did all this start? Was this always your plan?
Yeah, sure. I was actually very lucky in that, it was always my plan. So I have a journal from when I was 10 years old talking about wanting to own restaurants. And so it was always very useful for me to be able to kind of point directionally towards that goal. I went to college for hospitality management. So actually I worked at a restaurant right by the old Milton High School, if you remember, a place called the Roasted Garlic.
Okay, sure.
I started cooking there when I was 13.
Right.
And it's always been just the thing I wanted to do.
That's awesome. So you grew up here, and
I did grow up here. Yeah, I went to elementary, middle school, high school right here in Roswell.
Nice. Well, so I remember the first restaurant you opened was Table & Main.
It is, yeah.
And how long ago was that?
That was in August of 2011.
All right. And so tell me about that concept and how that evolved or has evolved over the years.
So that was my simple seasonal Southern concept. So it's, very Southern cuisine. Of course, the thing everyone knows about that restaurant is our fried chicken, which is the best in the state of Georgia. That's not me saying that. That's the state of Georgia saying that. They came out with a tourism guide that listed our fried chicken as one of the top dishes in Georgia.
It's delicious.
It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
That chicken got us through COVID. It's one of 10 entrees. It's maybe 60% of our sales. So it's where we hang our hat.
Yeah. Well, and I love that restaurant. I love how it just is that it's comfortable. You go in and your staff. I know we'll talk about this in a few minutes, but I know there have been staffing issues over, especially since COVID and stuff. But your team always seems to be just genteel, just nice and kind and patient.
Well, we're lucky that we tend to keep everybody a good long time too. I mean, Woody, the executive chef there, is almost with me 10 years. The executive sous chef there, just over 10 years for Jess. The general manager, again, 8-9 years. So we keep people a good long time. And I think guests like that. When you show up, you don't see a constantly changing cast of characters. You see the server who took care of you last time. And the hope is, they remember your drink, and maybe they remember something about your diet or the way you preferred a dish last time that you even forgot. That's kind of what we strive for.
Yeah, well, and that is awesome that you can keep people, and it says a lot about you guys and your team. So, so Table & Main, and then at what point did you decide you wanted to open the Italian?
Yeah, sure.
Concept?
So our landlord came to us just before we were 2 years old at Table & Main. He said, "Hey guys, there's this other building down the street that I'm going to buy. I think if you'd like, we could put another one of your restaurants in it. What do you think about doing another restaurant?" My partner at the time and I looked at each other and we said, well, we're definitely not ready. But if anyone's going to compete with us, it might as well be us. So we looked at what we do, what we did well, what we personally just liked, what we thought Roswell needed, and an Italian restaurant was the answer. So here we are.
Yeah. Well, and it was needed because we'd had a couple of Italian restaurants over the years that had closed, and it is absolutely delicious. And one thing I love about Asteria Matone, and I know I'm saying it wrong.
You're getting pretty close.
I'm getting
though.
better.
It's good.
But you guys, and if you've been there, you've noticed they have a beautiful wine room kind of as you walk in. And what you may not know, viewers, is that you can reserve that wine room. There's a table in there, and you can reserve it. And I think I've been in with I think 6 of us. And I think that was a little bit like probably the max.
6 is cozy.
Yeah.
6 is cozy. 4 is great. 2 is maybe even better. But it's a really intimate, unique experience.
Yeah.
You're in this little kind of fishbowl where you see the restaurant around you. You see the bustle on a Saturday night. But if you're celebrating an anniversary, or even if it's just dinner, it's a cool, unique experience within the restaurant.
Yeah, Meredith and we've reserved it a few times when we have out of town guests or special occasion, and it just kind of adds that next level.
It feels like a hidden find.
Right.
It is chilly though, so bring an extra layer.
Well, but you have
Pashminas.
Pashminas. I never know the word.
We also have wine, so whatever helps keeps you warm, we got it.
Exactly. And by the way, there is no charge for that. You just, when you make your reservation, you just have to ask if it's available.
Yeah, I would definitely call in and say, hey, is the wine room available? Certainly, if you make a reservation, it does list on Open Table, hey, this is the wine room, so you can also reserve online.
Nice. And so with, I think it was after you'd opened that you added the outdoor space there as well, right?
Both the restaurants opened with their outdoor space, but we certainly leveled up those different venues as we went through. We added the pergola at Osteria. It's got this beautiful, it's inspired by a restaurant called Cicconi's in Miami that's got these kind of white curtains, and we added the umbrellas.
It's beautiful.
Table Maine, we just upgraded the furniture out there. So we're constantly shoveling back the profits in the space so it just feels as nice as we hope the experience is.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that on Table in Maine, the outdoor space is really nice because it's sunken a little bit, so it just
feels like a little.
Even though you're on Canton Street, you feel like you're in this kind of private.
You're part of the
oasis
action, but you're not sort of buffeted by the action.
No,
and even there, we added the fire pit lately, so all those different enhancements are new.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. And then. Most recently, you went down the street to Oak Street.
Yeah, we have a new restaurant called Casa Robles, which is tapas and tacos. That's our new spot on Oak Street, also in the historic district, a stone's throw from Canton Street.
Yeah, well, so tell us about that cuisine and that kind of concept.
Yeah, absolutely. It started with the chef we have there, Laura Oriana, who's worked with me for 11 years, and she has been with us so long. We were talking about how she would do her own restaurant. It was a Spanish tapas restaurant. She grew up in El Salvador, lived in Sevilla in Spain, and went to culinary school there. So she does tremendous, very unique food at Casa Robles. And that space, first of all, I'll mention it as parking, which of course is a big hobby of mine, is finding and preserving parking.
Right.
And so it's got its own parking space, which is useful, parking lot rather, which is useful because on Canton Street that can be a challenge sometimes. So we have that there. And then this fantastic Spanish Latin cuisine with a vibrant cocktail list, and it's a lot of fun.
And amazing pork rinds behind the bar.
I don't know if absolutely.
I don't know if you make them.
We gotta have something to make you want more drinks.
It is. They're great. I actually dropped in there the first time. My daughter had a haircut or was getting her hair done, and what was supposedly a 30-minute thing was a 2-hour deal, and so I ended up in your place.
We actually have a deal with them.
You probably do.
They tell people it's going to be a quick 20, 30 minutes, and then when you're in hour 2, you're like, well, I might as well go eat.
And you've got daughters, as a dad, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, you're still on for the ride.
It was a good option for me.
Yeah, we pay them 10%.
But I have been to a couple of events there, so I've gotten to try a variety of what y'all have, and then we've come for dinner there, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and also now open for brunch.
Oh, okay.
So Sunday brunch is weekly. It's 10 to 3.
That's great to know because there are not as many brunch places as you would think.
There's not a lot.
Yeah.
And there's some really great ones, but anyone who has eaten brunch in Roswell and Canton Street knows it's a 2-hour wait. You go at the wrong time.
Yeah. Well, so, okay. So I have to ask first, what is your favorite, Ryan Pernice's favorite item, one item from each restaurant? What would you say?
So at Table in Maine, the easy answer is the fried chicken, but it's not the answer I'm going to give. Okay. We have a cold smoked pork chop that we do there that is by far my favorite thing at that restaurant. It's what I get most of the time I'm there, like 90% of the time. And then I'll pair that with our veg plate. So the pork chop is its own entree, but I'll get just the pork chop. And then as my kind of sides, I'll look at whatever Woody's doing on the veg plate for that day, which is 4 different seasonal, sort of chef-driven little dishes within one plate, and I always think that's fantastic. And right now, I think the veg plate in the summer is the best time to get it.
Nice. Okay.
So that's my Table in Maine answer. My Osteria answer is probably our tagliolini bolognese. It's a pretty classic dish that we do, and it's done in a very classic style, so I appreciate that kind of look towards authenticity. And then at Casa, it's just the tacos. I love the tacos there. So I will get one of each, except the vegetarian taco because I just
all right. I'm taking notes,
to live that
by
life.
the way. So
the tacos at Casa are fantastic.
Yeah. Well, nice. Well, I again, it's amazing to me that you can have 3 restaurants that are so completely different, but all just so delicious and flavorful and just great experiences too.
Yeah, we try and lean into the experience, which I think now is so important. Your industry as well. You know, it can be transactional if that's what you want. If you're just hungry, you want to stop in and get food, we can do that. But if you're looking for, you know, a truly local experience that's very of, by, and for Roswell, you know, our restaurants, I think, are very much that.
Yeah, well, and that's why I think it's so important to even have this series, because just local spots like this are what make our community even better and make it special and make people want to go there. So you're not just having just chain restaurants everywhere and that kind of thing.
No one wants to visit their local friendly Olive Garden for a true taste of that hometown.
Right.
You know? So Olive Garden, great. No qualms against that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give you that like sense of place.
Right. When it does. So it definitely impacts, having places like yours impacts our real estate industry and for our downtown Roswell and just for Georgia. I mean, really, we have this Metro Atlanta has so many great pockets, but I'm, of course, favor Roswell and your
likewise.
So,
yeah, we like being Roswell's kind of dog in the fight in terms of places that champion their hometown. I think after COVID, everyone is very compelled to just kind of bunker. You know?
Yeah,
we don't want to go too far. And when Table Maine opened in 2011, it was very much, all right, well, let's put great dining right here in Roswell so people don't have to drive down to Buckhead.
Right.
And then you can have that third glass of wine if you want, because you only have to drive 2 minutes home.
Yeah, or even it's a quick walk. I mean, there's so many options now for walking home.
Yeah, and the walkability wasn't a thing in 2011.
Right.
I mean, you could have, but it wasn't as much a part of what we were looking for.
Sure.
I think now with golf carts, we see 2-3 golf carts in the parking lots.
Yeah. Well, so I've got 2 more questions for you. One is, are there plans for a fourth?
I'm working on the 4th daughter right now. So we have an 18-month-old, so she's keeping me busy for the time being.
Yeah, awesome.
You know, we had the restaurant Alpharetta too, and we sold that one so I could concentrate on Casa and my little girl Gemma. So eventually, one day there will be, but I'm taking next year off as we just kind of get some foundation under us.
Yeah.
Lord knows there's always plenty to work on with the 3 we've got.
Yeah, sure.
Plus the little one.
Right, and all girls. Right.
They are all girls.
So. No drama. It's like my house. I have 2, and there's
it's all good
drama
all the time.
Right. And then I did want to ask, do you guys? I know there are times where you guys have events at the restaurants, that kind of thing. Is there anything coming up this summer
definitely.
that you're?
We've got our Guest Appreciation Week is coming up. That runs July 5th through July 12th. That features our Restaurant Week style menus of 3 courses for a prefix menu. That's going to be a big deal.
Awesome.
There's a couple other, our whiskey dinner, Rabbit Hole Distillery featuring some amazing food and music that night as well. And that's going to be at Table Maine July 25th. And then lastly, there's a Christmas in July, our popular gift card promotion where you get an extra $20 on every $100. That'll be going on in July too.
Nice. All right. And then I know you guys, all 3 restaurants are part of Summer Sippin', which is going on right now. So everybody head out, check those out, grab a drink. And
vote for your favorite.
Right.
People forget it's a competition.
It is. Yeah. So, well, good. All right. Well, anything else you want to share?
No, I appreciate you having me on, and thanks very much for the spotlight.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad. And as a parting gift, of course, everyone gets some Bill Estate swag.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
You're going to be looking great down there on Canton Street.
Find me in the dining rooms wearing this tonight.
That's right. You got your tailgate koozie and your
much.
Canton Street Roadie cup. So,
awesome. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.